Hello mech fans, and welcome to my official first gameplay video. I'd like to reiterate, I am no pro player. Most of these builds are not my own. I just enjoy playing them and I want to share them with you guys. So without further ado, I'll get onto one of my favourite mechs of the game currently, and probably one of my most favourite builds as well. Running in the Mad Cat Mark II-B, aka the Dakka Cat. Now, this build isn't strictly meta, purely because I do not run dual UAC 10s and dual UAC 5s. I much prefer running the dual UAC 10s with dual LBX 10s. The reasons are, there are a couple. First off is you do get occasions with the running 4 UACs that you will jam and you literally cannot shoot anything. Which is a bit of a problem, and also the UAC 10s and UAC 5s do rack up a little bit of heat quite quickly. I'm not very good at managing my heat scale, so I do try, and I tend to overheat a lot and usually end up killing myself in the process. It is something I'm working on, but anything I can do with builds to help me mitigate that is obviously something I do. Now, I've got there's a couple of people I know that run this build. Again, this isn't my own. But yeah, so it's basically dual UAC 10, dual LBX 10. Now, the main advantages are that with the LBs, when the ultras jam, you've still got 20 damage, albeit spread, yes, but you can still pump out some damage. And also, when you get hot, you can stop firing the UAC 10s and you can just fire the LBs when, you know, obviously when the brawl is real. And yeah, so at least you can still put out damage. It's basically that. I think there's 5 tons of ammo for each, or 4 for one and 5 for the other. Clan XL 345 with 1 double heat sink. The heat management is good. It does rack up very quick. If in a heated brawl, if you get lucky with the jams and they don't, it will rack up a lot of heat fast. But the dissipation rate is quite good as well, so you'll see that in the games. So yeah, basically that's pretty much the build. I've got a couple of games for you. First one is actually quite good. It's kind of a weird off-meta sort of way of playing the map, I guess. It's not a way I've seen it happen most of the time. There doesn't seem to be a lot of NASCAR. There's a lot of chaos going on the battlefield, so that one's good fun to watch. And yeah, I'll see you on the battlefield. Okay, so we are on Tourmaline Desert and we are on Skirmish, Tourmaline. I'm never entirely sure what to pronounce it as. So yeah, here we are trudging towards the front in our Mad Cat Mark II-B, and looks like we're going down here. Do a little bit of a slide, trying to avoid a bit of leg damage. Lovely. We'll just link up with the rest of our assaults. So yeah, this is quite a good build. I've got a reasonable range, 588 meters on both the LBs.
What the fuck? They're on you.
And someone's enjoying themselves already. But yes,
fantastic.
One of the
got a whole bunch of foliage on this.
Okay, there's lots of fun going on in chat. But yeah, so we've got LB10s instead of UAC 5s. UAC 10, UAC 5, kind of the meta build. I prefer this build. This is sort of semi-meta. But I like this build for 2 reasons. Number one, it does run a little bit cooler than the double UX, so the 2 lots of UX. And so when it's hot, you can just fire the LBs, and when you get into the brawl as well, sometimes you do come occasions where the UAC 10s and UAC 5s do get both jammed and you can't fire nothing. And this way, at least I can still fire my LB 10s, even if both my UAC 10s do the damage jam. So that's one of the reasons this is one of my favourite mechs to play in the game, which is why I chose it as my first video, and hopefully we can get some good games in for you guys to see. Bit out of range, but we'll chuck some Dakka down there. Hit by an arty strike already. Now the Mad Cat does suffer a little bit, as do most mechs that have most of the weapons in the arms at the minute. People do focus the arms quite heavily. The team is a bit split at the minute. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. Kind of don't really want to go over here, but this is where the bulk of the team is, so I think we're going to have to do it. The Lurms are out in force again today, so hopefully we've got a reasonable amount of IMS. Let me through, let me through, let me through, let me through.
Enemy contact.
Let me shoot stuff.
Oh, this is a missile party.
Yep.
Alright, so
New target.
just head on down here. Hope we don't get shot from the side. It's probably not the best choice for me to go at the minute, but the sooner we can get these guys down, the better. And these guys have no idea I'm bearing down on them. And as you can see, both my UX are jammed, but I can still put out 20 points of damage. Yes, it's not pinpoint, and yes, I'm not hitting anything. But I can still... Alright, let's focus this grasshopper first. Cool shots. So we completely caught them with their pants down. They were not expecting me to rock up here. So I'm hot, so we just fire the LBs. Just keep pumping out the damage. Try and get this guy's legs. Oh, lag. Lag, lag, lag. Not good, not good. And he's down. Our Annihilator has shown up to back us up. And we shall do another 180 spin. I'm not going to bother chasing the Shadowcat if I get shots on him. But yeah, it does cool down relatively quick when the obviously when you're not firing. So
New target acquired.
okay, we found our next target, I think. Or are we going to go for hotel? Which one's which? Fafnir is probably the slightly more annoying stroke dangerous target, but let's just keep rattling his cockpit, keep firing the LBs, and the lag is hitting my ass again. So we're weapon jammed. We need to get round here. Whoop. And Annihilator wants to get in on the fight as well. And that's another one down. And Grasshopper is next. We're starting hot, so we can pop another cool shot. I didn't get a chance to use either of my arty strikes. This is a little bit of a weird game. This isn't usually how this game usually plays out. There's usually a NASCAR around the middle. But I'm liking it. And it's good that for my first video, you guys can actually see something different from the meta. But yeah, so that's, and not a bad game either, not a stomp. I hate stomps. I'm not a fan of 12-0 victories. There's just, I prefer games that are a little bit closer. So hopefully, yeah, this one's proved to be a little bit different. Slightly off meta game and a slightly off meta build. So yeah, that's who's left? Is it still the Shadowcat? Yeah, it's still the Shadowcat. He's probably going to be dead before we get there. But yeah, as you can see, the build, the heat is quite manageable. When you get hot, just fire the LBXs until you get a chance to cool down and your UX unjam. And then, yeah. So, 12-9, a nice victory. Not a stomp. 5 kills, 4 assists, 2 solo, 4 KMDDs with just over 1,000 done. I'm not cherry picking the games, but this is a typical game-ish if you get a good game in this mech, sorry. Yeah, so the top guy on the enemy team, see, the enemy team didn't manage to pull themselves together. They were quite split. And yeah, I think the max they managed to do was a 5-10. And the other guy was the Annihilator with 1083. So yeah, a good game all round. Alright, and let's head over to another one, shall we? So here we are on our second game in our Madcap Mark 2B. We are playing Assault on Alpine Peaks. Not overly popular.
How much range should we have?
Or
What? How much
not
ranged weapons do we have?
overly popular map. We are playing with a friend of ours, Quake Riley. He's another MechWarrior Online streamer. And a friend of mine as well. And yeah, so we are just gonna
Technically 800, but
Have
still.
a bit of a chug down to the front for a bit and see what the enemy's doing. Like I said, this isn't a massively popular map. A lot of people don't like it. I don't mind it so much, but it does. Yeah, it is a bit. Is a bit of a weird one, and because it doesn't get played very often, a lot of people don't really know what to do on it, myself included. I am by no means an expert. But yeah, so we'll just have to see what we can do. Again, our range is going to be a bit of a help, but this map does usually tend to be more of a distance pokey, very distance pokey at the beginning. There'll be a lot of PPCs, a lot of ER larges, and probably some loams kicking up as well.
Target acquired.
We've got Thunderbolt over there. And looks like we're heading to Golf 7. Oh, we've got a... Is that a Stormcrow?
New target.
Oh, Nova, sorry. It's a bit out of range and we're only tickling him at that range, but we've got plenty of ammo, so...
Enemy spotted.
throw some Dakar down there just for some fun. And we'll push up round here. We've got an Orion going round the front. We've got some guys at the front. We're not the fastest, but we're nearly 62 kph, which isn't bad for an assault mech. There are a lot that are a lot slower. Yeah, so... Hello, Mr. Thunderbolt. And the way I've got my weapon group set up, I have got them on left and right side, so I can fire right side peek or left side peek. And if someone pushes in front of me, I can not take the back of their mech off if I can help it. Maybe we'll get some arty strikes out, I don't know. See. But at the minute we are forming. This is kind of one of the usual NASCAR points now. You don't want to push around this one at a time. You do kind of want to push out as a team, or just try and peek and just get the enemy to get a bit upset and then try and peek you back. Didn't get an arty strike off, unfortunately, but let's see, we can do a bit of right side peeking here. Most of the enemy team is here. I'd like to be able to drop an arty strike, and we have. Right, let's pull back, cool down a little bit, let the team take some aggro. Let that cicada know we're watching what he's doing. But yeah, so they're peeking. So we just...
All together. To the right.
Gonna push right then, let's go.
Yeah, fucking Russian boys. Echo, 3T, get the Thunderbolt.
And Senor Quake Riley is quite good at charging out, chucking out the calls on Juliet. Drop an arty strike if we can. No, never mind. Come on.
Champion.
Ah, bollocks.
Juliet, C2, CT, please. Get the C2.
We did a reasonable amount of damage. 483's average, 3 assists. Not a massively great game, but you can kind of see the strength of me peeking around the corner and shooting. We'll watch this to the end. I think it's going to be close because we're on an 8 and this Stalker's running a little bit hot. Oh, it's Quake, that's why. He likes running ridiculously hot. But I think the enemy team's going to have this in the bag. I think they just had the more firepower concentrated and they did peak a little bit better than ours. They did get some better trades. But yeah, looks like this one's going to be a loss, but I'm going to give it to you guys anyway. Because like I said, I don't want to cherry pick the builds, cherry pick the games. So obviously I'm not going to show you like a 92 damage killed within 1.5 minutes game, but this is a sort of fairly average solo queue game, especially if it's a little bit stompy. It's not quite stompy, 6 and 12, but we got 6 assists, KMDD with 483 damage done, a little bit of team damage. But yeah, I think the enemy team focused us a little bit better. But then you see there's a lot more reasonable average numbers there. A few guys that were doing some work. I think that's Nymph with his Thunderbolt with 769, and top on our team was 483. Looks like it was me with 483, but we got a reasonable damage number, so you're going to have this game anyway, because a lot of people don't know how to see it. So there we have it, guys. That was my first game. It was my first video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, the games were a little bit weird, especially the first one. Second one wasn't particularly great, but like I said, I'm trying my best not to cherry pick any videos. I don't want to just show you games with 1,000+ damage all the time. So yeah, any constructive criticism for the videos, please by all means let me know in the comments. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Thanks. Bye.